All right, hi everybody. Welcome to the ground floor of my video game creation slash YouTube tutorial journey. Um, Today I'm going to talk about this room, and also there's going to be a couple of, pointers for you guys on how to do effects, and I might even slip in a quick tutorial, so just stick around. Um, Okay, so this room is, like I said, basically a test room for a game I'm creating. Now, I'm going to talk more about this game in the future, but right now you can see it's basically a hodgepodge. You've got, let's actually play it. Got a lot of different effects, materials, different lighting situations. I'm basically using it to test out materials, models, effects, all that stuff for the game I'm creating. It's a nice little room to do that in. You can see over here, here I can test out the model like this chest here. We can take a look at that. Or we can come over here and take a look at, the wood or whatever. So yeah, and then the fog. So yeah, this is going to be a test room for my game. Now this isn't like a performance test room. This is more just kind of a visual test room for effects and stuff. I do have, let me show you quick. Here's like my performance level. And you can see like, it's quite a large level. Just testing to make sure that everything can perform well. Still getting 120 frames solid, rock solid per second in any area of the level. So, but we're going to go more into like my game creation in the future if this channel pops off, people are interested. I'm more interested right now in doing tutorials for you guys to help me, to help you, so that we can all kind of remember, in the future how to do things. So again, this is being made this is Unreal 5.6. I already kind of showed you a lot of the stuff in here. I will show in tutorials in the future. I already have a tutorial on like doing the cool edge wear on the stone, so I'll link that in the description and you can check that out. So let me also talk about the effects really quick. Now I'm more of a graphics guy and not as much of a shader guy, so I want to shout out where I'm getting these effects, and that'll help you guys too. What's giving me a good base for this stuff, and that would be Ben Cloward, his YouTube channel. Great stuff. Been watching him for years. Go back and go start digging into his stuff. He does shader work, so he'll do really cool effects like water, blending things into environments. Sometimes he does lighting. Sometimes he does all sorts of neat little things like toon shaders, stuff like that. Really great. This is Ben Cloward. Again, I'm shouting him out. And he's what helped me do this water, which is a little bit overkill for here. But if you look at it, I can click on it, and you can see it's actually animating the vertexes for the waves, which probably not really necessary for little pools inside of a game, but I think it's cool. And we also have like here the caustics in the water, and you can, if you get really close here, you can see it's kind of like pouring out, which I thought was really cool. We also have the caustics on the wall, which you know what, I think I'll show you basically how to create the map for that. With Ben, he does the shader work, but he doesn't necessarily do as much of the art work. So most of the times he'll include the artwork that you need to do it, but then sometimes he'll say, well, you have to kind of look it up. So I'm going to show you real quick how to make the map for this caustics effect, and then you'll get something out of value other than me just rambling about the fact that I made a room. So let's just do that quick. That's going to be in Substance Designer. Like, I have no affiliation with Substance Designer. I just think it's almost essential. It stinks because it's money, and money for us starving artists isn't the easiest thing in the world to have to shell out. But man, substance painter, substance designer, they are, for me, super duper time savers and essential. So let's just build really quick Caustics tutorial. So spacebar when you're in your graph here, we'll pull up your search. And we will search out noise, I believe. And let's find Gaussian noise. Yeah, that'll work. You can use a couple different ones. You can try all sorts of different ones. But Gaussian has this like cells-like pattern, which is good for Caustics. Now it's gonna, the Caustics filter we're gonna run is gonna use this Gaussian noise as a height map. So where the whitest parts are high and the darkest parts are low. If you can, visualize that. All right, so we got our Gaussian noise in there. Let's look up Caustics. Caustics grayscale seems good. So input, All right, so you were already getting some results. So let's, in the noise, let's change the scale so that it's a little bit bigger. Let's see how it zooms in there. And let's also kind of hit the random button in the Gaussian a couple times maybe, just to kind of randomize it. Why not? And then in the Caustics one, let's find the height scale. And what that'll do is it'll pull these in a little bit. And you can keep them out in, you can make the Caustics however you want. But I like to kind of pull them in a little bit, but keep a little bit for the shiny Caustic-y parts. Also now you can see it's kind of a little bit, there's too much gray, you need a little bit more black. So let's put in a levels, dunk, there you go. Connect that up and let's just adjust the sliders a little bit. Make it a little darker. Get more of that black in there like that. There. Okay. So essentially you can play with that forever, but that's essentially it. So you see how quick and easy that is. And if you want to like randomize it, you just go back to your Gaussian or Gaussian, however you pronounce that, and you hit this random seed button, dunk, 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 dunk. And I mean, you can do it a million different times. Great stuff. So there you go. That would give you the map you would need to then do his tutorial where it like warps the caustic around a decal and makes a material. So, also, just before we leave, let me show you what's so great about Designer. Like in my opinion, I've been doing this a decent amount of time, and before you just couldn't find noise maps like this. So now if I look up noise, you get all these different noise maps that you can use. And like, let's just open a random one. I don't even know. Hopefully whatever I open is right. Let's just do concrete. The heck with it, right? So you can already imagine how you can use this to make a concrete. But the other thing is you can also hit this randomize button and get a bunch of random versions. So you can use it for concrete, you can use it for grunge, you can mix colors together with it. And like, if you look again, and you look at all of the noise, all the different ones, you can find all sorts of cool stuff. Like the spots, so that you could make like bumpy rocks. You could look up. Okay, I'm getting a little bit off track here, but that's kind of, cells, and then just randomize that. So it's like taking what everybody used the clouds filter for, and then ran a bunch of filters on that in Photoshop and just making it infinitely more accessible. So I do recommend getting the software like this or this. If you can find something similar, haven't quite found something that can really do what all the substance stuff together can do. It's really, because then you can transfer these over to Substance Painter and then paint it onto your models. So anyways, obviously this is getting a little off topic and off track of what this was, but hopefully this will help you like in the future. Let's go back just real quick and I'll kind of let you go. And you can see also here, like I have all of these little individual bricks modeled out, and I'll kind of go through through all of that in the future. But hey, let's full screen it and play it just for the end of the video here. But hey, thanks a lot for taking a look at this stuff, and I hope, you know, I'm not just babbling, but also a little bit helpful. I wanted to go over what this room was going to be used for, because in the future tutorials, you know, there might be a time when someone's like, well, why are you using that room? And I'm going to try, I don't want to like use a room that's not like something someone else can do. So I'm going to try to go over how to do everything in this room in time. And, you know, it depends on how popular and if people actually watch. How much I'm going to do. I'm going to do I'm going to do tutorials regardless, because like I said before in a different video, sometimes it's good for me to watch my own tutorial, and it's good to have that information available and be like, oh, how did I do that? Because I forgot. So anyways, thanks a lot. If you do like this stuff, try to like and subscribe. I know this is early, so I know it's kind of, oh, how many is he actually going to do or whatever, but you know, I'm going to try to get this off the ground. And thank you, and I hope you really have a great day, and I hope you have, you know, great days in the future. Have a good one.